Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management. Brandon Arps, a wealth manager at Annex Wealth Management, is back. Hey, Brandon.
Danny, how are you?
Good, thanks. Folks, if you're a regular listener, you might be one of four types. You're a client of Annex Wealth Management, and if that's the case, thank you. The second is working with somebody else, but you're gleaning valuable information from this show. Third, maybe a do-it-yourselfer. The fourth is someone who doesn't work with anybody. Maybe you don't do any planning at all. You're going to figure it out later. The relationship between Annex and our clients is a two-way street. We're going to ask just as many questions of you because we need to know. Needs to be a great fit on both sides. Brandon and I are going to run through a 5-point list of questions when it comes to deciding if working with Annex Wealth Management is the correct move. Brandon, you've been doing this for a while. You've talked to a lot of clients. I think you'll be pretty good at this.
Yeah, hopefully.
Number one question. Do you need help with financial planning, or are you just looking for stock tips?
So, two very different things. Financial planning to us is really the foundation to our commitment to comprehensive wealth management. At Annex, we start with a financial plan, then we layer on a tax plan, understand the type of investments that are appropriate, and then spend time on your estate plan. So investment is part of the conversation with a financial plan, but it's not all of the conversation. So different planning topics happen at different times of life and are all worth your time, consideration, and understanding. So you think about things like Roth versus pre-tax 401k contributions, marriage, kids, insurances, college savings plans, retirement, Social Security, Medicare. All of these are different stages, and they're definitely worth your time and consideration.
You ever find that people come in initially and they just think it's about investments?
100%. Yeah, there's some do-it-yourselfers that are out there. The point is that you don't need a financial planner to tell you what the next Apple or Nvidia will be, but it does help to have the Annex investment team and their in-house collective expertise to lean on for that side of the equation.
Second question to ask yourself to see if we're a good fit. Are you ready to follow advice, or do you want to just hear what you want to hear?
Yeah, this is an important one. We're ready to meet you on all different levels and prepared to deliver top-tier guidance. So usually we need you to help us with some of the heavy lifting. We're not going to try to overwhelm you. And then we're also going to try to help as much as possible along the way. On the other side, we meet with folks that take pride in implementing their own strategies and use us to ensure that their interpretation of planning topics is on track. One tip, though, be open to planning advice. Even if it's different from what you think is right, get a few more eyeballs and opinions on things.
We're with Brandon Arps, wealth manager at Annex Wealth Management. A list of 5 questions to ask yourself, because working with an advisor has to be a two-way street. Number 3. Do you have the discipline to stay the course? We've seen that in the last couple of years.
We sure have. 2018, negative 20%, COVID, negative 34%. 2022, inflation and interest rate hikes pushed the market down 25%. We know what bear markets feel like again. Sticking with the plan, making slight adjustments, understanding risk levels, having a structured investment plan to begin with is extremely important when panic sets into markets. Money is very emotional, and if you're not capable of controlling your emotions and have been guilty of panic selling, for instance, you may want to consider partnering with a wealth manager who can help you from becoming your own worst enemy.
Number 4, do you have a good understanding of risk? And risk is defined in a couple of different ways.
Yeah, it sure is. And this is kind of an extension of having that discipline to stay the course. So as a wealth manager, the task of understanding a client's risk tolerance is of the utmost importance. We have software that allows us to dive deep into this conversation, tailored to your current allocation, and talk about how your portfolio would perform in troublesome times like the financial crisis, COVID, 2022, for instance. If you're not finding out how risky your allocation is until after we're riding a wave down, or you're missing out on the way up, which is equally important, it needs to be part of your conversation moving forward. We want to educate our clients and listeners on where the risks are in your investments, how we mitigate risk through the use of stocks, bonds, cash, and especially diversification. Most people think they understand risk, and that can be dangerous, especially if you don't have the discipline we touched on earlier.
Here's the loaded question. It's number 5. To what extent would access to the knowledge, the technology of Annex Wealth Management improve your financial life versus doing it yourself?
This is a big point. I kind of look at when I started my career 10, 15 years ago, a lot of the industry was paper-driven. And I think of the huge binder filled with a financial plan our clients would take home and stick in the file cabinet. But really, boy, have things changed. And all of this is absolutely to the benefit of the client. I just think about the systems we use on a daily basis. So financial planning software, budgeting software, tax planning software. I think we have 2 or 3 separate systems for taxes alone. Social Security maximization software, investment risk, performance reporting, trading, compliance, the list goes on and on. And the level of sophistication of the software we have is not always available to a retail or do-it-yourself investor. My advice, come in, kick the tires a little bit, and let us demonstrate our capabilities, and it won't cost a thing.
Brandon Arps, Wealth Manager at Annex Wealth Management. Thank you.
You're welcome, Dan.